Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included, our Let's Play series, episode 54. And I think we're going to change up the priority of just a few things here. I kind of want to get this stuff done before we go on too far. And I kind of want to get rid of some of the stuff that we have up here. I think it gets... We're running into a little bit of a temperature problem. And I want to take care of this sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we'll have to just figure out a little coolant loop, which isn't that hard to do, but I'd rather avoid more scalding if possible. It just gets tedious over time. Okay, so we have our transit tube all queued up. We're going to have to expand this a little bit to make a transit tube access, but that's no problem since we have the space. The other big thing I think we want to work on is pumping out this natural gas. And while we're at it, oxygen, CO2, okay. While we're at it, let's also go ahead and pump some more CO2 down over here. That way our slicksters can continue eating. So gas pipe, igneous rock is fine. Let's just hook these bad boys up. And suppose while we're at it, let's... Let's spoke these off a little bit and create little eating areas for our slicksters. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. I will make these out of gold amalgam. Just a couple extra little vents here. And I think we want to deconstruct this one. Alright. So, we're working on our little industrial area here. I'd like to streamline sort of the motion of the dupes over time. So I think we ultimately want to have a ladder come down from here and go all the way through here. That's going to take a little bit of work, and maybe I want to vent out these areas first. I particularly don't want a bunch of hydrogen getting into my base, so I have to work on that. But yeah, goals of this episode: we want to pump more CO2 down to these slicksters. Let's cancel this. And sure. Okay. I'm going to pump more CO2 down to these slicksters. Probably dig out a little bit more of this reservoir here. In fact, let's go ahead and queue that up. Maybe create another tier of slickster farms. Wouldn't be that tough. We can just wrangle them from here. We don't need to grab any more of the other ones. Oh, scalding. Okay, so we are getting a few problems up here. Because this bunker tile is rather hot after being in contact with this this mafic rock. Which is a little bit of an issue. Granite, mafic rock. Okay. Cancel these for a second. I think, we might need to create a coolant loop. We'll see how bad the scalding is. We'll wait a little bit before we jump to anything here. Poor Baney. Alright, so we're probably going to have a few problems here that we need to deal with. Let's go ahead and set the priority on these to be higher. We basically just want to... Basically just want to stop the contact here with this hot rock until we can get a coolant solution up and running. And speaking of a coolant solution, there's some polluted water down here, which I don't really want to deal with too much. It already has a bunch of Paku kind of crammed in it. Any other sources of water? Okay, no great ones. Perhaps we just want to actually pump up some water. I would buy that. Probably from here. Which probably means we actually do want to create our ladder. Okay, well let's focus on that a little bit later. Let's, for now, work on getting this, getting all this natural gas into canisters, or into containers. So we're going to grab a gas pump. Iron ore is fine. We'll just jam it here, I suppose. And we are going to build ourselves a little gas filter, because I think that will be necessary, even though there's a lot of it right here, right now. In the long run, we're going to want to get it out somewhere else. And yeah, let's build ourselves some tile across here. And we will build some gas reservoirs. Just all in a row like so. We'll leave it at that. Ventilation, gas pipes are fine. Igneous rock is fine. Hook this up like so. Hook this up here. Hook this up to, I guess, a high pressure gas vent is fine. Make it out of iron. And power this up with some wire. Yeah, coming from here is fine. Not the prettiest thing in the world. We're just going to take all this natural gas and we are going to pump it out into the here. That way it's not flooding our area with the slicksters. That's ultimately the goal here. We could actually pump it out of here as well. Huh. That is an option. We need to change this piping around a little bit. Why aren't you operating? No petroleum. Alright. Let's work on that. What is this? Natural gas. This is a mixture of things. Sure. Probably actually want to pump out this as well. More scalding, huh? Let's pause then. Okay, so let's go ahead and slap down a couple more med beds. Granite's fine. Just jam these guys here, go to vitals. Who is hurt? Lyra and Bert. We're gonna grab them. We're gonna toss them in some med beds. And I think we're gonna work on a little bit of a cooling solution up here before we work on it too much more. I mean, I guess we want to get this done. But, yeah, get all this dug out first. Once we have all this dug out and we're no longer getting sort of this contact from here, I think we'll work on cooling this area down a little bit. And for that, we're going to want to pump up some coolant, which we're going to need anyways for our sort of long-term in space. I don't have a great source of water up here at the moment. Yeah, nothing that I see here. No vents or anything, unless I'm missing something. All right. Dig this out, and yeah, we will probably finish up this as sort of our next part, as opposed to working on this area until we can get some cooling. We have a lot of work we can do here, so let's go ahead and say plastic tile, slap some down here, and get ourselves a manual airlock. Iron is fine for now. And we'll just dig out through here and work through this area once we've got this all done. Alright, perfect. Oh, and one other thing I suppose we want to work on. Might as well start cooling down a little bit of our stuff. So let's go ahead and go base. Storage bin. I guess some obsidian would work well here. And we're just going to slap down a couple of these. And we're going to sweep up all this stuff. That way, just again, we don't want it heating up this area. Ooh, we actually have some obsidian. That's pretty convenient. Okay. Yeah, gas reservoir that they're building down there. Needs some work. Okay, so possibly we should hook this back up. Not excited about the prospect. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Where are we at? We have a lot of food at this point. So I think we just want to take the priority here and turn everything down in this area to a 4. Turn all this to a 4. Perfect. I think we should take this and vent it out somewhere. I don't particularly care where. Let's just get that vented. Yeah. Ventilation, gas pipe, igneous rock, and I just kind of want to dump this somewhere. We'll make a gas vent, actually. Iron ore is fine. Alright. We're going to hook this up. We're going to pump out this natural gas. While we're at it, we might consider taking these CO2 reservoirs and pumping them out here. I suppose we might as well work on that as well. Alright. So that eventually needs to be deconstructed. It's not that big of a priority. So this is a little bit of chlorine in it, but not much. This area is pretty much turned all to oxygen. That's great. We'll open this up. And we're going to ventilate out this area as well. And basically just taking all the CO2 that we've accumulated over the course of our run. And we are going to pump it all down to where the slicksters are. Whoops. We'll need to straighten this out a little bit. Ventilation, gas pipe. We'll stick with igneous rock. Here's our carbon dioxide. Yeah, we're just going to get it down to here. This is fine. Let's go ahead and set up a vent for this as well. Might as well be a high pressure gas vent. And just vent out all this CO2 down here. Okay. And it'll eventually get there. I'm not going to dig it all the way because I don't really need to. And we will probably crack into here at some point. Clear out this area of gases. And use our filter here to pump things out. New duplicants. What do we got? Nothing that we want. Alright, get out of here. Okay. Another thing on the docket is that we need to actually deconstruct this. And I suppose for symmetry's sake, we'll deconstruct that. And we are going to replace it with granite tile across here. And we can set up then a little station to vacuum our guys up. Get them all the way to, say, around here. Temperatures over here are doing okay, it looks like. We're going to set this to sweep only. And we are going to grab ourselves any mafic rock or regolith. Here we go. Set this to a 6 sweep only, and we then are just going to say, how about we sweep up all of this? Anything that's too hot, really. This granite's fine. This is fine. How much of this is granite? Any of it? Mafic rock, mafic rock, mafic rock. Regolith. These temperatures in this other stuff are fine. They're not great, but they're fine. So I guess we'll leave them as well. Yeah, we'll focus on getting this done. Okay, so that should reduce our temperature problems over here a little bit. At least until this stuff starts really overheating. We have a little while to work on that, though. I think we have time to get some of the other stuff done. We might have to make a long pipe, though, to pump up a bunch of coolant. I think that might be what we end up doing sometime after we settle this. More scalding? That's not what I want to see. In fact, let's, while we're paying attention to this issue, go to Vitals. Anybody who's taken any damage. Frankie, Banny, and I don't really care about Meep, I guess, but Banny and Frankie, go ahead and get yourselves healed up. Okay. Back down here. This is little bits of CO2 being pumped out. Okay. This needs to be set to natural gas. And I think we're good to go. Okay, perfect. How are we doing on coal? 18.6 tons of coal. Eventually we'll want to expand out our slicksters, but it's not super critical right now. Okay. So we have this carbon dioxide vent going. We are now going to be pumping out our natural gas. One of the next things I think we want to work on is... Let's go ahead and dig out these. The next things I think we want to work on is setting up our glass production. Glass is actually fairly easy. I think the important thing is to not let the glass solidify within the pipes that you're pumping it out, but then you can just dump it into any sort of cold water reservoir, and I think that's what we're going to do here. We'll just set up some glass right here, should be fine, probably with some natural gas stuff to go with it. And yeah, that's going to be our very simple, easy plan for dealing with glass. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is a fine place to dig down. We're going to set up ourselves a little bit of a ladder here, just so we can kind of dig out through this area. Just have them go down as deep as they can go, basically, and clear out any of this rock, or as much rock as we can. Yeah, dig out whatever you can reach. I don't particularly care. This is ultimately the pool that we're just going to drop our glass into, rather unceremoniously, I think. We don't need to set up a big operation. We can have a bigger operation later, but I think ultimately we're going to rearrange a lot of this industrial stuff. Let's go ahead and queue up a lot more of this. And how much of this do we have? I guess lime is going to be one of the big things, huh? Okay, queue up some more of that stuff, and I think we're actually just going to disable this building. I think we just want this running 24/7, even though it's not efficient because we're just pulling the natural gas out of here. Yeah, I probably should set a lot of this back up in a slightly different manner here, once all is said and done. And let's disable this one as well. And we're just going to have this natural gas power everything here. I think that's the plan. No need to use any more coal here. This controls the water sieve. Sure. I'm just going to disable this building as well until we want the water sieve back online. These are fine. Okay. Alright, we're going to pump out all of this natural gas into these reservoirs here. And then where these reservoirs are going to feed into some natural gas generation. And, now that I think about it, maybe it's easier to just set up a reservoir here. We'll need to take some water from here, but that's no problem. Okay. Let's go ahead and replace all this with granite as well. And get ourselves a granite ladder running here. And I guess we'll run it all the way up to here. And also, I guess while we're at it, we'll dig out as much of this coal. This is chlorine. I think we're fine with that. dig out a bunch of this as well. What is this? Hydrogen. Okay, let's not tap into the hydrogen. Okay, so digging out this area, we'll set up a little bit of scaffolding. Yeah, make it out of igneous rock. And this is the scaffolding we'll use. We'll build like a... Yeah, this is right on the verge of freezing. We'll use the scaffolding ultimately to collect the glass, which we're just going to have land right over here. Oh, I didn't change this quite yet. Yeah, we're going to set up a liquid pump. Make it out of gold amalgam. Liquid pipe, igneous rock is fine. We'll just go up like this. And power-wise, wire, gold amalgam's fine. Go like this. And we'll just move this pump down. Okay. Lots of housekeeping stuff getting done. Oh no. This guy's dying. That's not good. Age 72. How's our other guy? Yeah, some amount of anything fell on him basically, or he just glitched out. This happens sometimes. Okay. We are going to try and save this guy by entombing him and unentombing him. Sometimes that works. Okay. These are filling up. We're replacing this here. Let's go ahead and mop up any of this. Job's mastered. Bert, done as a rancher. Let's go ahead and start him on some... What do you have left to do, Bert? Not much, it looks like. Exosuit engineer. That's an important one. Okay. Lots of stuff. Lots of irons in the fire. It doesn't look like we've accomplished much, but I still feel like this is a fairly productive episode. Once we get this built out, I think we can start more seriously doing a lot of stuff in space. Oh, what are you doing? Oh no. I don't really want shovels in my base. At least I have this abyssalite for now. But maybe I should have made these out of steel. There's a way he can get in. Okay. I'm going to cut the episode here. And when we come back, we are going to... What the... I don't know. When I come back, we are going to, I think, get a little bit more of this done. But also just fix up our industrial area just a bit. Okay. Catch you guys in the next episode.